settle down. The NBA isn't trying to kill college basketball. I mean, the ex-G League president even said, yeah, we're signing recruits, but no kids who have committed to a college. Yeah, about that. DAISHEN Nix just decommitted from UCLA, where he had signed a letter of intent. He'll get about $300,000 to play on the G League select team next season. That makes 3 5-star recruits who are gonna skip college and get paid in the G League instead. We've already seen great high school players play overseas or take $1 million internship. I mean, think of college hoops the last few years without Zion Williamson, without Trae Young. This sport looks to be dead. In this video, we'll break down how this whole G League path to the draft works and if it will finally kill college basketball. Hey guys, it's Casey Kiernan, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. Thank you so much for still watching, even though we don't have games. Still coming out with 5 quality NBA videos per week. Hit subscribe and hit notification bells. It really helps out the channel. So, DAISHEN Nix is the latest to sign with the G League select team in Los Angeles. It's such a big moment for this G League pro pathway because Nix was already committed to UCLA. He had signed a national letter of intent. The NBA got a kid committed to college to flip and come to them. The NBA is now literally competing with college basketball. And right off the top, let's just make this one thing clear. This is all about money. Like, that's the whole thing. The NCAA wants to keep all of the money they have for years. They don't want to pay any player of any sport, which is so hypocritical. I mean, if a kid was 17 years old, a great author, he got a book deal, a book agent, sold 1 million books, he wanted to be an English major at any university, he would be celebrated. They would love it if they came to their college, but if that same kid played basketball, he would be banned. But you know how it really works. They do get paid to play basketball. There are boosters with $100 handshakes, or agents or shoe companies fronting money to families. Rules are changing at some point about players making money off their likeness, but it's too late. The NBA finally took action. When the FBI announced their investigation into college basketball, Commissioner Adam Silver created this G League pro pathway. The problem was, no one picked it. Commissioner Adam Silver said this after RJ Hampton chose Australia instead.
I am a little jealous because we are, in our G League, trying to create our own professional track for an American player who decides that college isn't for me and I want to, as RJ said, I want to spend full time devoted to the game of basketball. That's my best chance to be in the NBA. There should be an alternative opportunity in the US to do that.
Big surprise! A kid would rather make $500,000 in Australia than $125,000 in, like, I don't know, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, playing in the G League. So yeah, there's no reason that an American kid should have to go to Australia to play and then have NBA teams fly to Australia to scout him, but it's all about the money. So the NBA revamped their idea. Instead of paying low 6 figures to live in a G League city, they created one G League select team located around Los Angeles. The recruits would be paid mid 6 figures and more with incentives. The schedule will be made up of some G League exhibitions, some international games. They might even fly to some of the NBA academies in Australia or Africa for games. The team will be filled out with NBA vets who will be paid to mentor the young guys and get scouted for another shot in the league themselves. The G League select team will not be all about basketball either. Players get bonuses if they complete life skill courses or do community service, and they get a full ride scholarship to college when they're ready to actually get an education. Now that is a good plan, but they still needed some brave young player to be first. I mean, colleges still do have a lot going for them. Take Zion Williamson, who went to Duke, for example. I mean, Duke's got some of the best coaching in the world. Mike Krzyzewski coached the best players in college and in the Olympics. What's that worth? Coach K has top flight development staff too to work on players' games. They play on TV in front of millions and have the college experience, making friends for life. The G League select team has none of that. So the NBA started pitching top high school recruits, telling them this G League select team will work because it has to work. And they came with a pretty big check. Jalen Green became the first guy to sign with the select team for $500,000+. They needed to pay up because Jalen Green is one of the best 18-year-olds on the planet. He's the #1 player in the ESPN Top 100. His NBA comp is Zach LaVine, but he's better than Zach was at 18 years old. Green is an elite athlete and a winner. He's already won 3 gold medals. Next up was Isaiah Todd. He's also a top recruit and number 13 in the ESPN Top 100. His salary will be $250,000 for about 20 games and off-the-court classes. Todd is 6'9", has the most polished game for any kid of his size in the class of 2020. He can shoot and has developed footwork. The latest 5-star recruit to sign with the G League is DAISHEN Nix. He's the 20th ranked player in the country and the 6th ranked point guard. While Isaiah Todd was committed to Michigan, Nix actually signed that letter of intent with UCLA. He's a pass-first point guard that has to work on his jump shot and his defense with the select team. So yeah, the NBA upped their budget for this project and it worked. They now have 3 kids signed up, ready to go, and a lot of money invested in them, but a lot more invested too. I mean, Jalen Green, for example, was projected to be the #2 pick in the 2020 draft. If he falls a lot below that, maybe even out of the lottery, this would be a disaster. The NBA will do everything they can to make sure that Jalen Green fulfills his potential. A lot of people are saying if it does work and makes 3 lottery picks out of these kids, it will kill college basketball. They are so wrong. College hoops will always be at least as popular as it is now. The days are long gone when we're actually watching college hoops for the talent. I mean, it used to be bigger than the NBA. Guys stayed 3 to 4 years. Casual fans knew the players. Now the only people who know the players are die-hard fans of that school who are actually rooting for the name on the front of the jersey and not the back. It has been a long time since we watched college hoops to see elite basketball. We watch college for loyalty, tradition, and for the March Madness tournament, if we're being honest. Taking the best of the best out of college hoops won't change any of that. And even if the G League experiment makes lottery picks out of Jalen Green, Isaiah Todd, and DAISHEN Nix, college could change and compete financially. The NCAA is in the process of putting in a rule that athletes can profit off their name and likeness. That means they could sign trading cards, like what Johnny Manziel got in trouble for. They could get a shoe deal, like Nike wanted to do with Zion when he was at Duke. A rich booster could go to Jalen Green and said, "Hey, I own 10 car dealerships in Memphis. I'll pay you $200,000 to be in my commercials." If that happens, it is conceivable that the best recruits in the country could make comparable money and play in college, legally. And if that happens, this whole G League experiment will not take off. I mean, just take playing on TV, for example, something that college basketball does very well. Who wouldn't want the fame and the experience of playing in front of millions on TV and thousands in the arena? I'm talking fired up, passionate fans. Even if the G League sold their select games and we could watch them on TV, that's nothing compared to Duke, Carolina, or the tournament. Thousands of screaming fans in games that matter. The select team is playing exhibition games. Who really cares about that? Have you seen the crowds at G League games? Universities have games that matter, elite coaching, the college experience. If the NCAA figures out how to pay the best kids to play sports, they will absolutely crush the G League select team. For now, though, the NBA does have 3 elite young players signed up. It'll be really interesting to see how this path to the pros works out. I mean, these guys will be playing with NBA vets, learning an NBA style of basketball. NBA teams will easily be able to scout them, so it looks like the select team is the best path to the NBA for now. I mean, there will be busts in this experiment and maybe even this year. But if you look at the McDonald's All-American roster, there is tons of unfulfilled potential. But I don't foresee any busts in this year's class of the G League select team. I mean, Isaiah Todd, DAISHEN Nix, and especially Jalen Green were hand-picked to start this experiment for the NBA that they have so much invested in. The NBA gave them 6-figure salaries and the world's first impression of their G League project because they were destined for the NBA draft as one-and-done college players. And if it does work out this year, makes 3 lottery picks, it will not kill college basketball. I think best case scenario, this G League experiment will be just one more option for the most talented kids in the world to make it to the NBA. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.